Good day everyone and welcome back. I'm sorry this is late and that the last 2 weeks only just came out. That's my bad. I would say that I've been really busy, but it's mostly been a case of I've been lazy more recently, but oh well, let's get straight into it then. Just to start things off, I'm a little bit surprised that Des hasn't released her episode of Rambling Rollers yet. I hope she's okay. I'm going to assume that maybe she's just busy like I've been, or maybe she just didn't feel this week was important enough to comment on. I don't know, but we'll get straight into it anyway. So, at the start of the session, we find out that it's going to take a week or longer to get to Gold Throne. And the session starts on a rather wet morning, as they make their way to Ironwick, which is about a day and a half away. While travelling, Lucius asks Arvel how he deals with the rain, to which the dwarf replied that you get yourself a good hat. Which Lucius didn't initially seem a fan of, let's be honest. However, they do notice that the roads are rather quiet, and by the end of the day, they actually make note that it's rather odd that no one, besides for them, has been on the road all day. As they approach the Rosewater Lake on their way to Ironwick, they do actually see that there's a slight glow in the center. I think Mark might mention that it pulsates slightly, I don't remember. Either way, they set up camp, and Ayla and Sentry take watch. During the night, Sentry sees a dark armored knight riding down the road, holding some sort of glowing green lantern. He stops when he gets to the camp and dismounts, investigating what's going on. His duty is apparently to watch the road, and he was travelling south to investigate the missing caravans. Given how he acts and how he's dressed, I would say that he's a paladin, and this seems to be confirmed when Mark says that he is a knight of the Blackened Rose, which is in the service of the Goddess of Death, I believe. The name is Kalara, I might be wrong there. He does warn them, however, upon seeing Valor, that 67 of the girls with matching descriptions have been kidnapped recently, like over the period of the last few weeks. Come morning, the rain has stopped, but it's a terribly cold morning, and if they spend another night without proper camping equipment, they're going to start suffering penalties. Which I actually kind of want to see, but oh well, we don't get to see that. Val apparently had a dream about Evan, which was quite odd because she was seemingly asleep. She claims that she has this sort of dream fairly often, where she doesn't dream of things that happens, but she dreams of stuff that relates to things. Which is a little bit eerie, and I think that's starting to indicate that, yeah, she might be more related to Siaska than Starbane. Who knows? As the party arrives in Ironwick, they see a large gathering of dwarves and humans arguing with a man that's roughly 40-ish years old, who is being accompanied by a beastwalker. A rabbit beastwalker, specifically. Apparently something has gone missing and the locals are blaming those two. For a brief moment, that man mistook Valor for his missing daughter, Estelle. A drunken blacksmith draws the crowd's attention to the party, claiming that the beastwalker is working with the wild elves thanks to Ayla's presence. Which, as you can probably guess, isn't actually the case. Missy Steeleye, the field warden of Ironwick, scatters the crowd after a convincing argument from Nova. However, she also warns them to not go towards the lake at night. And she seems very on edge when they mention, that they saw the glow. As it turns out, the Beastwalker's name is Sana Longears, and the man is Galen Sands. They are looking for Galen's daughter, and they followed the kidnapper's trail to Ironwick, where the trail went cold. She seems quite interested in the experiences with Valor's kidnapping, and they do eventually discuss that, but we'll get into that in a moment. Lucius, Nova, and Arvel go to the general goods store to buy a tent, some sleeping rolls, as well as some winter clothing. While shopping, Nova asks what was stolen. As it turns out, it was a few rations along with some rarer items such as gems and a couple of healing potions. Lucius purchases a set of incredibly fine traveling clothes for about 15 gold, which is perhaps a little bit of a ripoff, but let's not get into that. And eventually they catch up with the others at the villa that Galen and Sana are staying at. Sana recounts the results of her investigation into Estelle's disappearance, and the kidnappers appear to have made use of magic, and have similar abilities to the Goliath, teleporting through shadows, it seems. However, it does appear that Estelle was charmed in some way to make getting out of town easier, as she did say that she knew the individuals when they were questioned by the guards. The party shares their own experiences, and Sana agrees that it does sound very similar. However, she feels that Ironwick is hiding something though. Specifically, something about the lake, which, is to be expected when there's a bloody glow in the middle of it. In the end, they agree to work together with Sana to help find out what happened to the missing girls and to prevent more from going missing. During this time, Nova thought about the glow in the lake for a bit, and started to connect to how the glow in the lake acted and indicates that there is perhaps some sort of, Court of Shadows ship sunk deep below the surface of the lake. Aerois notices that the glow is still in the lake even during the day, although it's gone unnoticed due to the sun reflecting off the surface, which sort of indicates that Nova is correct in her thinking there. Half of the party attempts to hire a boat to go out on the lake during the night, but the prize drives them away as it's 100 gold to go out on at night because they're not meant to do that. While they're looking into that, the rest go to investigate the store again. Ayla and Val keep the girls working there distracted while Quill casts Detect Magic. He notices the glow of magic under the working girl's clothing, amulets depicting some sort of crossed blades, and in addition there was a glow coming out of the dwarf's tea and from the back room. Okay, so a few things here. The dwarf's tea probably has some sort of enchantment in it, I want to say, to keep him in a state of some sort of compliance, I'm assuming, with whatever those girls are up to. It seems like they have a circle of teleportation in the back room, which will allow them to teleport onto what we're assuming is currently a starship. And I'm going to say that their amulets are probably either arcane foci or some sort of, perhaps, holy symbol. But I feel like they are definitely related to the ship. Anyway, that's all from me for this week. A couple things though. If you made it this far, then I just have a question for you. Should I change the name of this series? I'm thinking about changing the name. I'm thinking maybe something like Ranger's Guide to Aerois, because that's a bit easier to say than Thoughts on Aerois. Well, Thoughts on High Rollers Aerois, I don't know. Anyway, again, thanks for watching, and I might see you next time. Des, if you're watching this, then I hope everything's okay. Cheers, and bye.